Hey everybody, it's Jimmy Grappone here with the CLT Life and J Park, Carolina Living Real Estate with my good friend here, Michael Curtis, Movement Bank.
That's right. Hey everybody, enjoying this fine weather.
Yeah, so it's spring right now. It's March 2023. We're hanging out outside of Virtuoso Breadworks in Waxhaw, North Carolina. So
if you've not been, oh my gosh, this place is a favorite of my wife and I. We live about 7 minutes across the border. So just to give you a frame of reference, Waxhaw. Technical difficulties.
No technical difficulties. Just an adjustment because because as we learned earlier, Michael, you have a long torso.
I do have a long torso.
So you're plenty tall, but people couldn't quite.
That's too
I couldn't see the CLT Life. I was like cut off at the neck.
I'll do this.
All right, so you're talking. Your wife likes Virtuoso.
So we are 7 minutes from Waxhaw. We live across the border in South Carolina. Waxhaw is a amazing southeastern small town feel. We're gonna get into that too.
Yeah.
And we consider ourselves adopted to Waxhaw, even though we're in South Carolina.
Yeah,
I live so much.
Okay, yeah, and I live right across the state line. My backyard, I live in South Carolina, and my backyard neighbor is in Waxhaw, North Carolina.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, so I'm about 7 or 8 minutes from downtown Waxhaw. So Virtuoso Breadworks. A couple of facts about it. They've been around. They've been open for a few years now in Waxhaw. Husband and wife own it.
Yep.
They're both Ritz-Carlton trained bakers. So they met together working at a Ritz-Carlton. I want to say in New York. I apologize if I'm saying the wrong city, but they've worked internationally as well. Yep. I think they were in the UAE, somewhere in the Middle East. I know they were at one of the Ritz-Carltons there. One in the States, and there was one other one. I'm not sure where it is, but from that international experience, they gained experience in different techniques. So it's literally a world-class bakery
right here
in Waxhaw.
North Carolina.
And where we're located right now, we're looking at the mill on Main. That's right next to it. Emmett's
condos.
Yeah, there's
condos over here, which are a couple years old. And before we move on, though, I think I've watched a video where you interviewed. And you highlighted Virtuoso, so maybe you can link it in the bottom.
I've got some footage as well that that's sitting in the can that needs to be uploaded. I'll need to do that. One other thing I was going to point out too is their coffee. So they get their coffee from Enderly Coffee, and Enderly Coffee is on Enderly. It's a street in Charlotte. And it's a lower income area, and the owners of the company actually employ local people that live in that neighborhood to work there, and they source their coffee direct from providers in Guatemala and Colombia. So they have direct relationships with like the owners of the farm, which is pretty cool. So they have really good coffee here as well.
Isn't that amazing? So you can really know where your ingredients are coming from, right? Like they talk about, what is it, like conflict, right? Avoiding those conflict channels, where people are repressed. And so I think we're going to see more and more of that, where communities here, establishments here, small businesses and individuals like you and I, we want to make sure that what we're consuming, what we're buying, what we're able to invest in with our hard-earned dollars is going through channels that is bringing people up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing. So at a place like Virtuoso or any of the other small businesses in downtown Waxhaw, you're supporting small business owners. But they're buying directly from small business owners who have relationships with other small businesses around the world. So it's a really cool ecosystem.
So cool. And they're local to this area. They're neighbors. Like their kids go to the same school my kid goes to, and soon to be rising kindergartner, which is wild to think about. But we got that happening in my house as well. But yeah, we just wanted to bring you out here with us because we both love it here. We love Waxhaw. We've been talking a little bit about, a lot about Virtuoso, but we wanted to just talk about something that we love, which is kind of that mixing of old and new, right?
Yeah.
You talk about Charlotte, you talk about how that has grown so much, and you talk about those satellite towns, Monroe, Waxhaw, Belmont, right? Fort Mill, and how we're mixing new with old, and we're having this kind of rise and growth in millennials and transplants. Doesn't mean millennials, like people from the Northeast and the West coming here, and they're occupying towns. like Waxhaw.
Oh yeah, I had a closing earlier this week, and it was in Waxhaw and in Lawson community. And my clients are originally from Merrick, Long Island, and I had 2 or 3 closings last year with people from Long Island. And then I did a post, congratulating them on their new home. And I looked, and an hour later, one of their friends from New York said, "Hey, we're coming down to visit in a couple weeks, and we'd love to meet with you. We're thinking about moving down here in a year or 2." So, there's there's a lot of relocation here to this area. So, I did a blog a couple weeks ago. It was 10 great reasons to move to Charlotte. And one of the things in there was the mild climate. And some people were like, mild climate? Have you been here in the summer? Like, I've been here for 15 years in the summer. And you know what? It gets hot and humid in August and September in Charlotte. So I'm not here to debate that. No. But in the winter, this time of year, late February, early March, when it gets up in the 60s and 70s, which today it's a cool day. It's probably low 60s as we're sitting out here.
It's nice. I like it. Yeah.
But up in the Northeast, they got snow last week. My sister lives in New York State, and they got a foot of snow.
Yeah, I'm thinking we have our own snow right now. I call it. It's like
yellow snow?
The yellowing.
Ooh.
The yellowing. We got not that kind of yellow snow.
It's not
Jimmy.
that kind of yellow snow. It's not. It's not.
We have pollen on everything. I can see my car from over here. It needs a wash so bad. So the good news though, April's around the corner. What is it? What's the saying? April showers
bring May flowers.
So we're about to get some rain and wash some of this off. But so we have the pollening going on right now. But.
So there's so many cool things that happen this time of year, and things that are coming up pretty soon. As spring is arriving. So Charlotte FC just kicked off their soccer season.
Their only can go up from here season.
Yeah.
We're 0-2 at the moment, but we've got some time. We've got some time to be able to bring some hope into that. I feel like they're playing against themselves, right? So what they're doing is they're giving away. We have St. Louis is the new expansion team as well, which they look like they're on fire. But Charlotte, we're here for you. We're a giving team. We're a city with a heart for giving, and so right now we're giving away wins.
There you go. Yeah.
Where would you go with that?
So you got Charlotte FC, but then there's always so many cool events going on this time of year as well. So there's going to be festivals and things. So
Strawberry Festival.
Strawberry Festival. When is that?
May. That's in May. More details to come.
That's in Fort Mill.
That's in Fort Mill. That's Fort Mill's claim to fame.
Well, May also
Strawberry Festival.
The PGA tournament, the Wells Fargo Championship, is at Quail Hollow. That's the first weekend in May, and that's one of the new elevated PGA tournaments. So if you follow golf at all, the PGA had to come up with something to rival LIV, with the higher purses. So they designated 10 of their events in addition to the majors, or 8 events in addition to the majors in the playoffs that are designated events with higher purses, and that means the top 50 players have to play in those tournaments.
Ooh.
And Charlotte got one of those, so we're probably gonna have the strongest field ever. Another thing that's coming up really soon, coming up in March in the Waxhaw area, just about 3 miles up the road from where we are, is the Queen's Cup. I think it's in April.
Right. Yeah. Tell me about that. I'm not as familiar with Queen's Cup.
So Queen's Cup is it's an all-day horse racing event. It's the Charlotte area's premier, racing event, the Kentucky Derby of Charlotte, basically.
Yeah, I know. I know what the Triple Crown is.
Yeah.
Is the Queen's Cup involved as one?
Not involved in that, no. But it's the biggest horse race. It's the biggest horse race in Charlotte. It's in it's like 5 minutes from downtown Waxhaw. It's Mineral Springs. So on Route 75, you go east just a little bit.
I think it's a travesty that we're called the Queen City.
Yeah.
However, we're not part of the Triple Crown. We got crowns on everything around here.
Yeah. Well, and Union County, North Carolina, is the horse capital of North Carolina.
Yeah.
So there's the highest. I think there's either more horses or more horses per person per capita. In Waxhaw and Union County. Than anywhere else in North Carolina. So, but the owners of the land there, they have this land. It's like a natural preserve. So there's wild game and stuff that lives out there, but it's only open
How cool is that?
It's only open to the public this one weekend of the entire year.
Yeah.
Like they don't do. It's not a public park really. I don't think.
Wow.
It's basically private property, and then and then they have this one huge event every single year. So that's so a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, lots of events and things that are going on.
It just this time of year.
Charlotte Knights will be playing again with their
Charlotte Knights.
New uniforms this year.
That's right. The new branding, new uniforms. I'm taking Kellen to a checkers game Friday. We got like a school appreciation thing going on.
Okay.
And I haven't been to a checkers game. The Charlotte Checkers are an AHL team, so
American Hockey League.
American Hockey League, so not NHL, which is like the main.
Yeah, it's one level below.
It's
like AAA baseball.
Yep. I think they feed into a team in Florida.
Do they not feed into?
I know they don't feed into the Hurricanes.
The Hurricanes.
By the way, if you're following hockey, go Hurricanes. Those guys are top of the table right now and have a strong run ahead of them in the playoffs. So, we're going to be cheering them on for sure. But going to a checkers game, that's going to be a lot of fun. But this time of year, it just reminds me of rebirth. I feel like before the cameras were rolling, we were kind of talking about that. We're talking about new beginnings, getting connected back into community, getting connected back into like from a spiritual standpoint even. And it's just so important. So this year I think about that, and then bring it back to real estate. We're talking about mixing old with new. A lot of these old textile towns, especially around here, we're seeing that rebirth. I know Jimmy mentioned we can see the smokestack of the old mill down the street.
That's where Emmett's Social Table restaurant is located.
Amazing award-winning restaurant. And we're seeing these old buildings that are now being revitalized and filled back in, and how amazing is that? Because I remember early 2000s, in the 90s, these towns were dormant. These towns were basically empty, and now we're seeing as people are venturing out, we're not stuck in that traditional cycle anymore of 9 to 5. You can work from home in many cases, or even they want to start their own small business. They're coming to these small towns and finding opportunities.
Waxhaw was a dry town until 2009. Did you know that?
Really? I had no idea.
So, and then I think Maxwell's Tavern was probably the first. They used to be called Bridge and Rail or something like that because it's right next to the bridge. Maxwell's Tavern was I believe the first place to sell alcohol, like a restaurant in Waxhaw.
Wow.
Now we've got Mary O'Neill's, which is an Irish pub.
Yeah, very good place. Good food too.
Yeah, so Jekyll and Hyde is gonna open up soon. I actually went in there. The doors were open. I took a few shots.
Check out Jimmy's post. He posted the pictures. It's really cool.
Yeah, we posted on Facebook just a couple days ago, and it's got a huge ton of impressions on there, ton of views. But that's going to be coming sometime later this year. They have locations in Matthews and Belmont. So they have really good food and craft beer selection, and also craft cocktails. So you've got those places. There's a big project that's coming to Waxhaw pretty soon, and Waxhaw has some cool festivals starting in May. But there's a cool project. They have a TAP grant, which is
grant. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a local improvement grant from the federal government.
Cool.
That they got years and years ago, but hadn't been able to use. Well, they're going to widen the sidewalk.
Oh, I do know about this. This is exciting.
Yeah, right next to Dream Chasers. So. Downtown Waxhaw, you have northeast, south, and northwest, east, north, south, east, and west. Sorry. So, and you got Main Street on both sides. So you got East North Main, West North Main, and so on. So
and the train goes right through it.
Right down the middle. And there's a bridge that goes over top. Well, East North Main Street is where Dream Chasers, Cork and Ale, Waxhaw Creamery, Welty's Antiques. Indigo Pearl, which is a leather place, 88A Boutique. These are all businesses right there on that block. So they're going to widen the sidewalk. So you're going to have basically like a patio. So you can sit out there al fresco.
So cool.
And they're going to make that just a one-way street. And it's going to help the flow of traffic so much.
I believe it.
And just make it even more pedestrian friendly, which they've added just other recent things that they've done. They extended the sidewalks, so they made it a lot easier to walk from where we're sitting right now to downtown. We could just walk on the sidewalk the whole way,
and we may.
But a year ago, you could not do that because the sidewalk only went on the other side. So Waxhaw's done a ton of improvements.
What's cool about these smaller towns is they have this priority around building these mixed use. Live, work, play type of environments and making it accessible. We're sitting right here outside of Virtuoso. It's kind of cleared out a little bit now, but we were surrounded by families. I'm watching people right now. They're walking down the street, heading down towards downtown or further towards downtown. And it's really exciting to see that these towns are taking that into priority, because, man, I think about when I was a kid, some of these places, if you didn't have a vehicle, like, you had to be out the way. Like, it was just one big thoroughfare, and it's just cars flying down. And they've really broken that up, and it's exciting to see those changes.
It is.
Speaking of changes, though, we're talking about rebirth. We also got to talk about the circle of life. You know, Nasawenya. Here we go.
Well, we can get into that on the next video.
Oh, we're already out of time.
Yeah, we are out of time. We want to keep this to about 15 minutes, and we've already gone just a couple minutes after, or over 15.
How about that for a cliffhanger?
How about that? Yeah.
Check out the next video.
Yeah. So we'll see you on the next video. But thanks so much for watching this one again. I'm Jimmy Grappone, creator of the CLT Life. We're relaunching the CLT Life website this week. My web developer Matt Carollo has done an awesome job.
Shout out to Matt.
Shout out Matt to get that set up. So we're gonna have regular content that's on there that's going to be original content from the CLT Life. We're gonna have e-commerce on there, so you can get the gear. The CLT Life gear, so we'll have even more creative stuff from a merchandise standpoint. And then we're also going to have resources on there. That's going to be stuff that that we don't necessarily create, but it's going to be great resources just to things like food and drink, sports, different things like that, all around the city of Charlotte and around the greater Charlotte area, so you can find it's gonna be like a central hub.
CLT
for all
Life
that stuff.
For me is CLT Life is a great community connector. So if you're not sure where to start with everything happening around us,
check it out.
CLT Life has everything you need, from stuff coming around the corner like Jekyll and Hyde, to stuff that's been around that it's the best kept secret. You never know. But anyway,
thanks so much. All right,
click the subscribe button.
Yes, definitely subscribe and like, and we'll see you soon.
Awesome.